Hello everyone! Today we're going to discuss startup of a freight brokerage and see how it compares with a startup of a truck dispatching service. As we have discussed in the previous video, there are three popular choices when people are trying to get into the transportation industry. One of them being dispatching, the other one being trucking, and the third one being freight brokering. Today we are going to discuss freight brokering and see how hard it is to open a freight brokerage and obtain your license. For those who are still confused about the differences between freight brokers and truck dispatchers, allow me to provide you with the quick definition. Independent truck dispatcher is someone who is assisting motor carriers or trucking companies with the load booking process. Freight brokers, on the other hand, work with clients who need something shipped, and it is their duty to find the most suitable transportation company to transport their client's cargo. So in essence, freight brokers are matching shippers with the transportation companies, and for doing so they're charging a certain percentage as their commission, and that's how they make money. So what is required to start a freight brokering business? First of all, you will have to obtain a license. In order to obtain your freight broker license, you will have to go through FMCSA application process, you will have to obtain a surety bond, and file a few other forms. At this stage, your main expenses will be application fees, filing fees, and of course a surety bond. Cost of the surety bond will depend on your financial and credit situations. However, just like with dispatching, you don't have to spend too much money on the equipment. You will need a computer, you will need a phone, and you will need a few pieces of software. But other than that, you should be all set for your initial operations. This puts startup cost for freight brokering business kind of in between truck dispatching and startup of a trucking company. You will spend more money opening a freight brokerage than you would starting a truck dispatching service, but you will definitely spend less money than starting a trucking company. The licensing process and the cost associated with starting your freight brokerage has a certain hidden advantage when comparing to truck dispatching, and that hidden advantage is barrier of entry. While just about anyone can start a truck dispatching service, not everyone will be able to go through the application process and obtain the surety bond. So not everyone will be able to start a freight brokerage, which gives you again a certain advantage and a little bit less competition that you would find with the other business. At the same time, just like dispatching service, freight brokerage can be operated remotely. You as a freight broker do not take possession of the freight, which means that you can run your operations from your home, from your office, from your vacation destination, wherever you are, wherever you have access to the internet and have a telephone connection, you should be fine. On the other hand, unlike dispatching, you will need to have some funds for your operations. With dispatching, you don't really need any operating capital because you're just providing the service and charging your clients for the service you have provided. With freight brokering, you will be collecting payments from your clients and you will be paying transportation companies for transporting the cargo. This type of operational transaction can create cash flow gaps, which means you may have to pay the transportation company first before you are going to receive money from your clients. So you must have enough funds to cover these situations. Alternatively, you can use factoring companies to fund your operations, but again, this will require a certain setup and financial planning. So what are the main advantages of starting a freight brokerage? One of the main advantages, in my opinion, is your ability to create a structure which is going to generate income for you without your active involvement. Let me give you an example. Of course, you can get out there and try to generate business for your brokerage by reaching out to various clients and offering them your services. However, you could also hire a team of freight agents that would do this type of work for you. You see, not everyone, as we have discussed, not everyone can obtain a freight broker license. And there are some people that like to do this type of work, but they would rather work under a license of somebody else. So in essence, you can provide a platform for the freight agents. They can come and work using your license and your company, and you will be charging them a percentage or fees for this privilege. And that means that you could be making money without ever finding one client on your own. Second advantage of starting a freight brokerage is recurring income. For example, you may land a client that ships something on a daily basis, and you may sign a contract with such client for the duration of 1 year. And that means that every time the shipment goes out, you will be making some sort of a commission. If you can find several clients doing that, you will have a recurring income from multiple sources. And that will lead us to the third advantage, and that is sale of your business. If you have a book of business, basically your brokerage is generating certain amount of money on the regular basis, there are other companies that will be happy to buy your business. I am familiar with cases when a smaller family-owned brokerage grew large enough to be purchased for over $1 billion. Of course, that took them some time and required a lot of work and effort, but it just tells you that there are opportunities to make this business so attractive that the large companies would come in and buy it from you. So to summarize, I believe that freight brokering stands in between dispatching and trucking operations as a medium risk, medium reward type of business. In terms of the startup cost, it's as well kind of sits in the middle. It's going to cost you more than starting a truck dispatching service, but it should cost you less than starting a trucking company. I would recommend starting a freight brokerage to someone who already has some sort of a business experience. If you are new to starting a business, this is your first venture, you might be better off starting with the dispatching service. It is easier to start, it does not require much capital, and it has overall lower risk than you would have with the freight brokerage. And last but not least, just like trucking, freight brokerage could complement your dispatching operations. Furthermore, by combining all three, you could create basically a transportation conglomerate where you are doing dispatching, freight brokering, and trucking. Such arrangement could make it easier for you to obtain clients, because you as a freight broker can be selling your clients on the fact that you have a trucking department, you own your own trucks, which could cover their loads if needed. Then your dispatching clients may be happy with the fact that you have a freight brokerage department, which could source some direct freight for them, direct freight from the shippers. And of course, your trucking department should be constantly busy because you have both dispatching and freight brokering departments looking for freight all the time. And this ultimately should generate income for your company from multiple different sources. And if you would like to learn more about starting a freight brokerage, we offer a course called Simple Guide to Freight Brokering. You can learn more at www.learnfreight.com. If you're interested in dispatching courses, you can visit www.learndispatch.com. And with all that being said, we're going to wrap up this video, and I will see you next time.